Boys are trained to play games with predefined limitations and boundaries, such as chess, games with predefined movements and outcomes. A guy's nerd reputation was famous when he was younger. In junior and in middle school, he was captain of the chess team. He was mockingly referred to as a chess jock. However, there were no female chess players at the time. No girls were hanging out after school playing computer games either. Girls usually played Truth or Dare and other games with more random aspects. Open-ended games in which you had to think on your feet. Boys preferred games with clear rules and limitations. Men don't have the same capacity to play mind games as women since they've been educated to play rigorous games with set rules. Monopoly was the most open-ended game they played as youngsters because when one player was beating all the others, he started negotiating agreements with individual players for protection and to swap assets. Games for males are frequently dependent on points or bucks, and those numbers signify status. For many females, they would frequently combine games like Spin the Bottle with Truth or Dare, and these sorts of games taught ladies to improvise in social circumstances and to win, and losing is determined by who can inflict the most embarrassment on the other side. For girls, numbers do not reflect excellent or negative feelings. Instead, positive and negative emotions indicate opposing points, which is what female games are all about. Women are trained to use their intelligence and cunning to seek control over other women or men. As girls grow older and engage more with men, they use mind games on them. They must believe that guys keep scoring the same way girls do, but guys don't. Women think that they are exerting their authority over men by playing mental games with them. Yet it is the equivalent of criticizing someone in a foreign language they do not comprehend. Women playing mind games is generally more annoying to males than a power battle. A lady wants a guy to see how dominant she is over a guy, but he views her as petty. When a girl plays a first-person shooter game, she generally loses interest fast since she doesn't care about the fictitious points on a screen reflecting her social currency in that specific context. That's why most ladies are fascinated with the underlying action in first-person shooter games. They are more concerned in social relationships between 3D characters than real points, and they like the kind of gameplay in which piecing off your opponent is how you win the game. The attention to detail game is another game that ladies like playing. They will ask you to go out and buy something from the shop, and they will provide you around 90% of the answers you need to complete the assignment. They will ask if you can go out and get a bag of gluten-free flour, for example. They will provide you the particular brand, shop, and size that they are seeking for. However, women frequently leave off little information such as which aisle it is situated in or whether it is whole wheat or white that she is looking for. And it is generally two elements that a woman leaves out. Depending on the lady, it might be as few as one or as many as three. That's a trend I've noticed, with the average being two. If you don't pay attention to what's written on the bag of flour, you'll frequently end up in excrement. If she gives you the option of whole wheat or white flour, you must contact her to check which one she prefers. Women seldom forget anything, and in situations like this, you're frequently being pushed to call her back because she wants to feel important and appreciated. And her self-esteem will improve at your expense since you'll appear silly asking her questions. Why do you believe advertisements depict clever women criticizing foolish men? Because the woman links to the women on the television screen through female-owned group preference, and it enhances her self-esteem when she sees another woman knocking down a guy and so increase her self-esteem. What a woman may not realize is that the increase in self-esteem she receives from viewing a television advertisement is frequently done to make her feel great about the thing being marketed. For many guys, this is similar to having a favorite sports team and rooting for them to win. When they win, their self-esteem rises, and when they lose, their self-esteem falls. Except for women, whose favorite sports team is all the other women in the globe. In reality, they're rooting for every single girl in the world to humiliate every single guy in the world so they can feel good about themselves. Gynocentrism is the ultimate team sport, with half of the globe population participating. Men applaud for specific sports and players, but women shout for all the other women. Getting back to the bag of flour, if you don't contact her and seek her opinion and instead guess and buy the white flour, when she truly wanted the whole wheat flour, you'll be disappointed. She'll claim you should have phoned, but if you do call, there is a strong possibility she won't answer. So you're damned if you ask, and damned if you don't. Sex is the next mental game I'd like to discuss. A woman withholding a guy's sex as a control mechanism is a passive-aggressive approach to manage his behavior. It frequently has to do with guys being reinforced through sex and sexual attention. When he has genuinely done something pleasing for her, but not what she desires, she refuses him with sex. This control is simple to grasp, but most manginas have no concept how they are being used because women did it in the past. When a guy bought her flowers and she started kissing him, he was offended because he felt deep down within that he was being socially conditioned to be a dancing monkey with symbols in his hand. Instead, he did not do what she asked him because that is how you fight someone who is playing mind games with you. It frequently feels horrible playing along with a woman since doing pleasant things for her really lowers your self-esteem. But that is the final purpose for this form of feminine manipulation. It's emotional torment until she deconstructs your actions and behaviors into useful and predictable patterns. It's undoubtedly related to having children and ensuring she can suck resources from you in any scenario. But with women having fewer children these days, withholding a man's sex if he hasn't done anything pleasant is no longer a means to an end, but a goal in and of itself. Another mind game that women engage in is the imitation aspect of the attraction game. Women will do everything to attract a man's attention, but not just any nerd's attention. A woman's ideal nerd is still a tall, dark, and handsome man with a bad boy image, so they wear these Marvel shirts to attract only certain types of men in the hopes of finding that fake alpha pretending to be hard image. But inside he's still a nerd. That's what Mr. Dangerous has to say, and it's interesting because these girls are obviously wearing these shirts to play mind games with the guys they are targeting. They're essentially attempting to entice a man who has no idea she's interested in him. If he appears to have status on the outside but is actually emotional, putty, and easily influenced on the inside, rich nerds frequently give status, obedience, money, and a beta male providership. They are the low-hanging fruit in the mating game. Clean ladies frequently progress to higher branches after being selected. People say that women don't let go of one branch or connection until they've grasped the next. Women don't let go of the branch they're gripping until they've reached a higher one.